What's going on, everyone? So, guys, this is going to be a video about Phil Spencer, and it's not going to be a positive one. But you guys are going to understand by the time we get done with this video, because there's some things he said I just cannot get around and want to promote positively. It's actually like empty-headed and just like you're kidding me, right? Starting off with this headline, Phil Spencer admits Xbox hasn't always protected its creative teams, but doing so is very important. Okay, so guys, there's some key words here. One, Phil Spencer. Two, admitting. And three, Xbox, not Microsoft. So we're not bringing Satya in this. We're not bringing Microsoft into this, though we know the suits are penny pinching for numbers. That's where they get their stuff brought in. Well, Phil Spencer is saying and admitting his failureship here, which I can give him respect to that, but I'm still upset about this statement because he's practically saying that something is very important, but you didn't protect it like you should have. And you let too many teams die off. You let too many dumb things go around. Yeah, we just give them creative freedom. Yeah, but you're supposed to monitor and make sure things are going to be a certain way. Why do you think Redfall came out the way it came out? That's a failure of leadership, and it's irresponsible. And it's kind of like just lukewarm. You can't tell me you wanted to protect something very important in your life, and it's very important, and you say, "Oh man, I didn't always do that, but it was very important to me." No, 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 no. That doesn't make sense to me. No, you're saying that because those are good words. But honestly, that statement does not reflect with what you said first. We haven't always protected its creative teams, but doing so is very important. Well, if it was very important, that wouldn't be happening. Speaking at California's Paley International Council Summit, Spencer said it's vital that the company protects and fosters the creativity of its teams. A little too late for that now, but please keep on doing that. Guys, I have to tell you, this is the type of stuff I'm talking about. When Xbox is in the grave, when the guy put on the Halo T-shirt and all this, this stuff is coming out now on October 24th. Yeah, you're just lost. It's pretty obvious. So going down, Xbox boss Phil Spencer got pretty candid at the Pali International Council Summit in California, saying that protecting creativity is important. By the way, guys, I'm not at my house. I don't have my background music and none of that going because that's just not here. So we're not going to be able to do that. Sorry. And I'm pretty much going to be at Orlando tomorrow. We're on vacation here. So yeah, that's what's going on. Protecting creativity is important to the gaming giant, but that it hasn't been the best at doing as of late. No, protect. You want to see protecting? Go to Nintendo. They protect their children. They protect their intellectual property, right? And they say, who are you, right? Who are you to tell me what to do with my property? I created this. You ain't privileged to have my stuff. Shut up. And I love that. Who are you to think you can touch whatever? Even if I created it 30 years ago, it's mine. I still care about it. Just like somebody's daughter or father that's 30 years old, right? You know what I mean? That's my daughter. That's my son, 30 years old. You think you're still going to stop caring about them? That's what you got to love about Nintendo because they don't care how old their game is. I still care about it. I still care about it. You see what I'm saying? Guys, let's think about that. Identity, brand power. Number one, selling crazy numbers that multiple platforms can't get because they protect. See that sun protection? That's love. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that gets rewarded. Uh-huh. So, now look at Xbox. No identity, no protection, cucking out. Uh, I think it's starting to add up to you guys. And then all this lukewarm, sweet words, but it's like, dude, but the damage, man, at this point, let's just be straight up. All right. So during the moderated discussion with Double Fine head Tim Schafer via PC Gamer, Spencer expressed how valuable it is for not just game companies, but the media industry writ large to shield the creative teams that pour their hearts and souls into the work they produce. Like I said, sweet words, but too late. Everything's already been almost damn killed off, and you have no identity left on your console except Starfield, which is already on its way to PlayStation and coming to Switch too. The creativity of the teams is, in my mind, the most important thing and the thing that we need to protect and foster, Spencer said. Not long after saying this, Spencer noted that Xbox hasn't always safeguarded the creative talent behind its biggest and best games. The sentiment was expressed in the context of internet criticism. Yeah, you need to be criticized. This is what I'm doing, professional criticism. I'm not calling him any names. I'm not insulting the man or anything like that. No, we're talking about gaming, professional criticism, and a failure of leadership. Feedback between the player and the community, or somebody that's more than a player in the community. But either way, you get what I'm saying? You need that leadership. You need people who know what they're doing. I wonder how'd that conversation go with Pactor, because I know he's thinking about the TV stuff. But, I don't, no, not yet. So he admitted that Xbox and maybe the whole media industry doesn't protect its workers when it should. Yeah, 100%. They treat them like trash. They use them. They overcrunch them. People attack them when they should be attacking the wrong other people, and then they feed them to the AI and dump them off. Yeah, pretty much. I think it's the most brave thing a team can do, whether you're making a movie or a television show, to go and put something out for the internet to evaluate, judge, and comment on. Yeah, I agree on that 100%. Sometimes I scratch my head on why anybody wants to go do that because the internet's not always a nice place for the discourse around things that have been created. 100%. But neutering and protecting creative teams that want to go take risks. We don't always succeed at that, but I think it is the kind of root of any media industry, the creative nugget. I just don't understand how somebody's in the industry for that long and now you're coming out and saying this now after all the damage that has been done. You see what I mean? This should be something that should be there day one. Like you should be professional like that. It shouldn't get this far. And that's where I'm disappointed. You know what I mean? This is true if you look at the recent evidence. In January 2024, Microsoft eliminated 1,900 jobs following the Activision Blizzard acquisition. But you knew what you were doing when you acquired them because you're not going to be able to manage all those people. So, of course, you're going to dump them off. It would have been better off leaving them alone. Over a year later, in May 2025, the company laid off 7,000 people in response to the dynamic marketplace. And in July, they laid off more people, canceling a slew of games and closing an assortment of studios. Despite these slashes to its workforce, the company still reached a 4 trillion valuation at the end of July. Yeah, it doesn't get more greedy and evil than that. In October 2025, Bloomberg report suggested that the mountainous profit goals Microsoft has for itself are doing far more harm than good. How much more do you need? Can you sleep in 20 beds and eat 10 plates of food and drive 10 Rolls Royces and all that? No, you cannot. You just have all that money, but you still want to take more from humanity. I'm saying scumbag company, upside down and backwards to the deepest degree. Still, Schaefer explained that after Xbox bought Double Fine in 2019, the California studio has maintained its creative independence because of that Xbox money. So, yeah, but not because of good leadership. Yeah, you're saying because of money, not leadership. When we talked about becoming acquired, it was a big thing for me. Like, how do we keep our culture intact? Good luck and lose your identity. Schaefer said, and everyone was like, no, we really want you to stay who you are. And that's been true all these years. You know, creatively, we can be like, hey, we want to make this game all about a walking lighthouse. And Xbox is like, cool, sounds cool. That game Keeper, which had nobody playing it because your brand has no attraction, is doing pretty well critically for both Double Fine and Xbox. This is the type of stuff that should be on Nintendo platforms. Like Rare should be with Nintendo. We awarded it a 9 out of 10 in our Keeper review, but you're still not getting the exposure you need. With critic Steve Watts calling it a visual feast, a tone poem, and an exploration of movement mechanics. Now, I loved Psychonauts 2. If you guys don't know, that's Double Fine. So go check that out if you haven't played that. Amazing game. A fable around the world and what we owe to it. So, this is my thing, like, when it comes to this type of stuff, Phil. Like, when the damage has been done so much, um, and you coming out saying this, it's not gonna really make anybody happy because Xbox is pretty much done, man. I mean, people are moving on. Nobody's happy. Everybody knows it's a sinking ship. The nail in the coffin was at that Halo event. So you saying that now, man, with nobody buying any of your products and you having to go to PlayStation? I don't know if there's much to protect when it's already destroyed completely. So I think it's a little too late for this, sadly to say. But it doesn't hurt, I guess, to protect whatever the hell else I think you got left. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about this because to me, this is, like I said, far too late. This is something I would have liked to see at the beginning of the Series X launch that we didn't do in the Xbox One era when Halo was dying off, Gears was dying off. You know what I mean? It's like, man, we don't have anything left. You know what I mean? Okay, so guys, we got to make sure we do this so we're ready at the beginning of the Series X aspect with that 360 energy that you thought was coming, right? And the pro consumer push, but that's not what happened. So here we are at this moment, and he's coming out saying this, but once again, it just seems like some good words when it's way too late. That's my take on this. Let me know what you guys think about this. Like, comment, and subscribe. Once again, boy, they're a loss. Later, y'all.